Johnny, how's it feel to have class? Reggie, yeah, that's funny, wasn't it, Reg? That's very funny. I just shakes his head. Scarlett?
Anybody in yet?
Yeah. There's 9 people.
And shot okay?
What?
Can you see it okay? Is everything good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take attendance on the computer, but here goes this for late people. Okay, chair and desk, cooperate. Okay, well, hello everybody, and welcome back to COM 171 Introduction to Communication with me, Peg Watts, your mighty leader or teacher, whatever. Here we're going to be talking about mass communication, kind of a specialty of mine. The field of mass communication, though, encompasses a few different things and has some inner definitions that we're going to talk about, but for right now, let me see, where are we at with time? Well, it's 58, but let's go ahead and take attendance, and then I'll catch up with whoever comes in after this. So okay, go ahead, you know what to do. Post that you're here and say hello.
Jameen.
Hey, Jameen.
Nick S.
Hiya, Nick.
Destiny.
Hi, Destiny, how are you doing?
Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Ashton.
Hey, Ashton.
Alyssa.
Alyssa, hello.
Cameron.
Hey, Karen.
Damien.
Hi, Damien.
Bradley.
Hey, Bradley.
Mariel.
Muriel, hello.
Chima.
Hey, Chima.
Evan Young.
Hey, Evan.
Christian.
And Christian, good. So let's see who... Malik's not in yet. Keep a lookout for him. Who else did we not hear from?
Bria.
Pardon?
Bria's here.
Oh, hey, Bria. And Kayla, too. She should be coming along here any minute. And Olivia. I think Olivia's in this class. And Garrett. Yes, Olivia's in this class. Should know these things by now. So let me know if those guys come in, all right? And in the meantime, I'm going to save this and adjust it later. And we will move forward. Hope you guys had a decent weekend and everything is okay in your universe. Your very small, confined, quarantined universe. I hope you're all okay. My son Jake is doing much better. He hasn't run a fever now for days, and did FaceTiming with him the other day, and oh my goodness, he lost 15 pounds at least. Like, he looks just hollow. So he's got to eat food and bulk back up again. But it's good to see him well and laughing and all of that. And everything is the same at my sister's group home, and my Aunt Linda is still battling through all of this. And yeah, well, New York is in terrible shape. Other places are starting to be in bad shape too. So remember all of the things about all of this, and the things to keep yourself safe. And I have a way for you to actually remember this, and you'll never forget it, because it has to do with what your final is going to be all about. So Alyssa, you had asked this the other week, and I told you it was going to be creative, but I wasn't ready to talk about it yet. Well, I worked out all the kinks and the bugs and figured it out as best I could, and I've come up with something I think is fun and creative, and you guys are going to have a good time with. So, part of the problem with everything coming to a halt for a little while and all of the hiccups and all of this is that some of the material that's important, like, I'm not able to get to in this course, and the same thing is true with pop music and radio broadcasting. I wish it wasn't. I wish I was able to get to all the material that I think is important here in
Kayla's
this
here.
class. Huh?
Kayla's here.
Hi, Kayla. We're getting ready to talk about what the final is going to be. So, I've got the PowerPoints up for the 2 chapters that your final is going to be based on. So that's thing 1 that you guys need to know, is that the final is going to be based on chapters 13 and chapter 14 in our book, Human Communication. The PowerPoints are loaded up here in case you, for some reason, don't have your book. You can refer to the PowerPoints and get the general idea of the chapters too. So, Chapter 13 revolves around persuasive communication. So those are things like advertising and public service announcements, things that help convince people to do things or change their minds. Political speech is persuasive speech. Debate and rhetoric, those kinds of things. So the components of persuasive speech are important when you're creating messages intended to turn people's minds around or inform them about important things, like what's going on right now. So chapter 14 is about health communication and the special needs of healthcare communication to the public, to each other in terms of research, and that's a very interesting chapter also. The 2 together made me think, well, wouldn't it be a great final project to put some of the things that you learn about persuasive speaking and health communication to good use by creating little video public service announcements. So, that's what you guys are going to do. Either you have a smartphone that you can create a 2-minute video with, or someone in your family or one of your friends does. But everyone has access to being able to make little videos like this. I mean, that's what TikTok is all about. My 12-year-old granddaughter is an expert. So, you guys are going to be making 2-minute public service announcements about the coronavirus. And I want to find the public service announcement project itself here. So that's the directions for the outline that you need to submit for this. This is your final submission. All right, so here we go. After reading the textbook chapters 13, and so you'll find this on Moodle under the week 15 through the 21st, because your first part of the final isn't due until the 15th, which is next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday after Easter. So you're going to have your outline for this 2-minute presentation on some sort of topic about keeping safe or well during this time. Some health related topic that has to do with the coronavirus. You're going to have the outline due for that on the 15th, and then on the 20th, your video itself is going to be due. Excuse me, you got a runny nose. It's not the coronavirus, it's my allergies. Again, feeling kind of like we all need to wear t-shirts that says it's not the coronavirus, it's my allergies, or I'm allergic to my dog, or something. Alright, anyway, so those are the requirements for the outline. We'll go over that in a minute. But
Olivia's here.
Hi, Olivia. We're talking about the final that's coming up, so and the deadlines for that. But first, we're talking about the parameters for the final. So we're going to be, like I said, making a 2-minute video public service announcement that has to do with the coronavirus and wellness, connecting us back to Chapter 13, which is persuasive communication, and Chapter 14, which is health communication. So here we go. So 2-minute public service announcement, or a PSA, concerning any aspect of the coronavirus you choose. This could be about wearing face masks, social distancing, mental health tips to stay emotionally well during this time, or any other health-related public message about what to do to stay safe and emotionally well during this time. Doesn't that sound like fun? Yeah, see? Told you, Alyssa, it was creative. It's going to be great. All right, so here are the requirements. The topic and your outline are due by April 15th. That's next Wednesday. We're going to go over the parameters for the outline here in a minute, but it's posted on Moodle. Within your outline, just at the top of your outline, just tell me what your topic is in a few words. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out paragraph. And then create your outline for this presentation. So it's really, consider it kind of like a face-to-face presentation, but you're videotaping it, and it's just videotaping it. I'm so old. You're video recording it, and yeah, so that's the big difference. Like it's not any, and it's only 2 minutes long. And don't be fooled by that and think, oh, good, phew, it's only 2 minutes long. Oftentimes in media writing or creating messages, it's harder to create a shorter message than it is to create a longer message. It's easier to write on and on and on and elaborate and come up with different things to input about it, spread things out, make them long and go on forever. That's kind of easy writing. It's just sort of spilling it all out. Writing concisely and succinctly for a certain amount of time within a time frame, that's a little more difficult. So keep that in mind, that although it's only 2 minutes long, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's an easier thing than a 10-minute speech. You have to think of what information is the most important and really needs to go into it, and not flower or fluff it up with anything. So topic and outline are due on the 15th, and the video is due on April 20th, which is a Monday. So then that week, that Wednesday and that Friday, once I get all the videos, I'm going to present them in class on my computer with you guys doing what you're doing right now on Twitch, and I'll show them to everybody, and then I'll grade them, and then that'll be it that week of the 24th will be our last day of class, because the 28th is the last day of classes, period. So we'll get that. Can you believe finals already, right? See, we're getting through this. I told you that we would. So class participation presentations will take place, like I said, on the 22nd and the 24th of April on Twitch, and I will be presenting them. So again, it's 2 minutes in length, not more than that, because Moodle will only accept files up to 64 megabytes. So an MP4 of 3 minutes long is less than that. However, if it turns out to be a problem, I'll let you know, because then I'll just have to send you guys a link for my Dropbox and have you upload your PSAs to the Dropbox. So let's see how it goes with people trying to upload their videos, and if there's a problem, I'll quick open up my Dropbox and send you guys the link to it through email, and you can do it that way. But it seems like, according to what I read on Moodle, it should be okay to do this. So you're going to deposit your 2-minute video here. So any information that you provide must come from a valid, verifiable source, okay? So on the internet, that could be things like WebMD, right? Like they have verifiable, they have verifiable articles that are researched and or come from other peer-reviewed publications, medical experts that contribute to WebMD, so it's a valid source. But also like hospital websites and doctors' offices, newsletters that come to your email, or public information from the Centers for Disease Control and their releases, the CDC, or even state and local health departments. So no, you can't take a YouTube video from Sebastian Maniscalco or Gaffigan or somebody, and like, because they have tips for washing hands, like get that information from that. You have to get it from an actual valid health communications source, and that's part of the project, right? Is to get familiar with some health communication. And WebMD does that very effectively, and hospital websites like UPMC or the Mayo Clinic or Johns Hopkins or New York Presbyterian, Cleveland Clinic, all of these places have websites, and they all have updates and information about the coronavirus. And so some of the things that you can talk, so you have to have a verifiable source for this, and within your outline you have to have 2 sites. You have to cite, and I don't care if it's 1 or 2, but you have to cite where you got your information from, so you have to give credit to where you got it from. I mean, really, I look on AccuWeather, and right above there's a banner that says, for the latest coronavirus information, click here. So no, I don't want you to get coronavirus information from AccuWeather, but if the banner that it's clicking you to is the CDC, that's fine. That's where you want to get that healthcare information. So here are some possible topics that you might want to think about doing a public service 2-minute video about. Proper hand washing. How to make a personal protection equipment, PPE, we're all hearing that little acronym lately, face masks. So a crafty sort of how to DIY your own protective face mask. My family is making them this week. How to make germ-killing cleaning solutions. So, you know, they say like anything that's alcohol-based or bleach-based, don't mix the two. But there are recipes and concoctions all over the internet on how to make a proper cleaning solution to kill this virus in your house, on your car handles, on your door handles to your house when people are coming in and out. You know, common surfaces that everybody touches. So that might be an idea. How about the rules for social distancing? What are the rules for that? How long is 6 feet? How do you know when you're 6 feet away from somebody? When you cough, how should you do that? When should you wear your face mask? Should you hug a friend that you haven't seen in a while? They're like your best friend. So social distancing, the rules for social distancing, and there are all sorts of rules about that from the CDC, from the Surgeon General's office, from local and state health departments. You can get all kinds of information about that. How about questions like, can we safely enjoy the outdoors right now? So what would be some ideas on how people can get out a little bit without compromising other people and while still staying safe themselves? What are some things that they could do? Chima likes to ride his bicycle. So you might want to make a video about something like that. How to make hand sanitizer. My daughter is busy doing that with her kids at home right now with the ingredients that they need for hand sanitizer. Tips on cleaning common surfaces. Should you swoosh back and forth or should you go in a circle? So that might be a fun video to make. How about why are we isolating and how will this help stop COVID-19? Well, that's an important video to think about making because a lot of people don't understand why it is that we're sheltering in place, why it is that we're self-isolating. All right, never mind self-isolating, we're being told to right now. Why are the businesses shut down? How does that prevent the spread of COVID-19? And what effect should that have on things? Has it made a difference yet? You tell us, right? So that could be a public service announcement. How to stay connected with others during this time. This is a mental health kind of a thing, right? Ideas for people about apps to use, fun ideas. Right now, my daughter and my Aunt Mary Beth are going on Zoom Meet together, and my aunt's playing the piano and my daughter's singing. So there you go. That's one way to connect with others and have a good time. Early warning signs of COVID is another one that you could do, like what to look out for. Everybody thinks that they know what the symptoms are, but maybe you can pull it together and tell everybody what to look out for the early warning signs, especially if you're a younger person your age, what to look out for. You may be expecting, if you catch it, to feel like you just got run over by a truck, but a lot of times people your age just feel a little crappy. They just, feel tired, achy, and have a little bit of a sore throat. So that might be something that would be worth looking into. Essential items every home should have during isolation. So what are some essential things that every house should have for isolation, for the time of isolation? Board games, flashlights, Tylenol. What are some, think of like 10 things that every house should have right now during isolation. For, is it a first aid kit? Music? Make sure that your cable bill is paid or your Netflix bill. What is it? So 10 things every house should have to get through this time. Or you can develop your topic of your own, right? So I'll accept that. Just tell me what the topic is at the top of your outline. Anyway, so those are all listed here on Moodle under the week of the 15th through the 21st or 2nd or whatever it is. But you can find it there. It says submit final here. And here is the rubric for your final exam, your final project rather. So meeting the time requirement of 2 minutes. If it's a minute and 55 seconds, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with it being less than a minute and a half. And it can't be more than 2 minutes and 10 seconds at the most, otherwise the file's not going to fit. So meeting the time requirement is important. Content is worth 55 points. So the meat of whatever it is that you're communicating about this health information. What's the content? And creativity. How did you put this together? Is it fun? Are you using props? Chima, are you getting on your bike and having people film you on your bicycle? Think about the creative approach to getting this message out and what would be fun for people to watch. So creativity is worth 20 points. And then citing your source is worth 10 points. So within your conversation and your video, within whatever it is you're saying in your PSA, you have to say, according to WebMD, here's 10 things that you should have in your house at all times, especially during the coronavirus outbreak. A thermometer, or this, or that. So, but you have to cite them. And so that's a total of 100 points. Submit video by Monday, April 20th, midnight. That's the deadline for all of this. So, about the video itself, who has questions? Really? Everybody is good with this? not hard, and it's fun, right? It's going to be a fun kind of project to do. You could get your family to help you out with it. I'll bet you they think it's fun too. But yeah, or get your friends to help you. That's fine as well. I don't care who else is in the video with you. I don't care if you have like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir in the video with you. And use props and be creative and have fun with it. Make it fun to watch. So, all right. So that's it about the video. I want to talk about the outline that's due a week from this Wednesday. So the requirements for that are it must contain 3 parts, right? Because it's an outline. An introduction, so introducing your topic and where you got it from. Body, which is the main content, the main information, and conclusion. And try not to conclude your video with, and so that's all I have to say about this. Like, just like an essay where you have a thesis paragraph and your last paragraph has to connect to the first paragraph, everybody knows how to do that with an essay. Giving a presentation is the same style of structure. It's, you have your opening statement, which is your thesis. You have your body, which is the middle part of your project, right? The middle part of your presentation. And that's got all the stuff that backs up your thesis. It's important to wash your hands at this time, according to this and the other thing. And how do you do this? Here's how you do it. And, 20 seconds, you could sing happy birthday, whatever it is you're going to do at the bottom. And then the conclusion, it would have to be something like, and so remember, washing your hands is one way that you could keep yourself and other people safe at this time. It's important to sing the happy birthday song. And if you want more information on how to stay safe, go to, and then give the website or wherever the information that you got it from again, so that people have the opportunity to go to where you got your source information from and get more information. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, I'm guessing you think it makes sense. So, 3 parts to your essay: the body, the intro, the body, and the conclusion. And don't make your conclusion weak. Remember to connect it back to your introduction, your thesis part of your presentation. It must contain 2 cited references. Well, you know what? I'm taking that back. I'll change it on Moodle too. I only need 1 cited reference. If you get your information from the Mayo Clinic, that's good enough for me. If you get it from the CDC, that's fine. You don't need 2 sources. They just have to be valid sources. So, but you definitely have to say where you got it from, and you have to put it at the bottom of your outline. So, standard outline form, nothing crazy here. Create it using MS Word, please. If you can't create it using SM Word, put it in the body of an email and send it to me, because Google Docs and some things just don't work with my adaptive equipment. I wish it did. I really wish it did. So if you can't create an MS Word, create it in an email and make sure it's spell checked and that everything is the way it's supposed to be, and send it to me that way. Anyway, it's due by the 15th, midnight. And the rubric for it is organization of ideas, right? Is important. Where'd that go? Yeah, 60 points right there. Writing mechanics, this is going to your writing grade, so that's worth 10. In other words, you have up to 5 mistakes for that. And then citations is worth 30 points, so you have to make sure your citation is in there. It's worth a whole 30 points. If you leave that out, that's bringing you down to a 70 for no good reason, so don't forget it. All right, questions? Organization, writing mechanics, citation, and I'm going to change it from 2 to 1. If you have more than 1, that's fine too. Questions? No? You're good? Okay, so let's take a look at this week's Moodle and see what we've got going on here. We're talking about mass communication this week, which I said is my specialty. It's kind of what I'm here for. And mass communication involves a few different things. So you've got the 2 PowerPoints for the chapters that you have to read for your final. That's at the top of this week's block. Then I also have this week's PowerPoint, which is chapter 10 on mass communication. If you want to open that up and bounce along, you can. There's another video here called Careers in Mass Communication. So the different career options and professions that there are within the huge umbrella of mass communication. And then there's the history of mass communication is another video that you guys should watch. A career in mass communication is the name of your forum for this week. So the forum says, so here it is, it's under that video, forum icon right there, a career in mass communication, question mark. Are you interested in a career in mass communication? Maybe communication studies overall? Watch this video in this week's block, Careers in Mass Communication. So this connects back to that first video. And post a discussion topic about your communication or mass communication career goals. I want to know, what do you want to do with this mass communication and communication stuff that you're learning here in our department? But there's a little bit of a twist, because I recognize that some of you are not mass communication majors or communication majors at all. Some of you are business majors and English majors and other things. So if that's the case, there's a twist. See, it says twist right here, twist, colon. Even if you're not a comm major, you can participate in this by telling us how good communication awareness or skills will give you the advantage in the workforce and in your future. So if you can't address, like, what do I want to do in communication or mass communication, like what are my career goals for that? If that's not your career path, talk instead about how good communication and communication skills should benefit you in the future, in your career path, in your future, in your life overall. All right, so this has a due date. See, it says here, this has a due date in big uppercase letters, meaning I want this done by Friday, April 10th at midnight. It's my Easter too, and I really don't want to spend all of it like going through late submissions. Please don't make me do that. That's not nice. So get this done. It says here, I was in a bad mood when I did this, apparently. It says firm, final, don't ask. That's what it says. So I really mean it. Get it done by Friday at midnight. That's no more extensions after that. We're moving into after this week. We've got 2 weeks left, right? So we've got this week of lecture that we're doing, which is going to be like Monday, Wednesday. We never do lecture on Friday anyway. You've got the Easter, holiday coming up over the weekend. People might be bogged down and involved in family stuff for that. Coming back next week, we have the last unit that we're going to discuss through my lecture process, and that's going to be on social media and social media technology. That's what the last chapter I'm going to be talking about the following week, not this week, next week. And after that, you guys are doing your final for this class. You'll be depositing your videos, and then I'll be presenting them over Twitch like this. So yeah, we don't have much time left, so just let's get this stuff done. You're almost at the end here, and then there's the link for the form grade.
Alyssa has a question.
Okay, Alyssa, what is it?
If we're seniors, do we just put our plan for after graduation?
Yeah. Well, plan for after graduation, but connect it back to how our good communication skills and knowledge about communication going to help you in your future. If you're not going into if you're graduating and you're not a comm major, if you're a business major, how is the communication field going to be helpful to you? Because you had to take these classes even though they're not part of your, they're not in your major. The business department or whatever thought it was important enough that you should take some communication classes. Why is that? How is this going to help you in the future? Okay? Anybody else? Don't forget that you need to reply to 2 other people's posts as well. So it's the rubric for it is the same as it's been before. 60 for your own discussion post, 40 for your 2 reply posts for a total of 100. So that's that for this week. You just have the form to do and get started on your outline, and you've got those other 2 chapters to read before you can really get your outline together. So there's a lot of reading to do between now and then. I get it. And again, the PowerPoints are up there in case you have problems accessing the book in some way. All right, before we move on, does anybody have any questions? I asked this a lot. Take a look at my notes really quick. That's not my notes. That's my notes. There we go. All right, so we've got those videos up about mass communication. I'm not going to show you any of the videos today, but that's up for you to watch on your own. What is mass communication? Just making sure I go through my list here of stuff, like did I get everything I wanted to talk to you guys about? Yep, did that. Yeah, so the 2 chapters that we're not going to be covering out of the book are media literacy and public speaking. These are both classes in our department. I teach public speaking. Usually Professor Nugent teaches, or maybe Dr. Woody teaches media literacy. I have in the past as well, though, and I like it. And you know, both important fields of study within the communication studies field. Media literacy, helping people to be good consumers of media and understand what they're viewing and how sometimes they're manipulated, is, you know, the field of media literacy, and it's important. And public speaking is also a whole discipline of study, and there are all these organizations dedicated to it, like Toastmasters and TED Talks. And public speaking is important for you to know how to do for your career if you have to get up and make a presentation. And if, you know, what you want to do is to help inform the public, then you have to know about public speaking. So unfortunately we won't be getting to those chapters though, but I wanted to hit the ones that I know are the most important. And persuasive speaking is, you know, is persuasive communication. I'm having you do that chapter because it's so much of what creates marketing messages and what convinces us to do things like stay home during a pandemic. So, you know, persuasive communication is really important. It has to do with public relations too. And then the health communication at this time and any other time, it's important when you think of things like anti-smoking campaigns and heart health and diabetes and all these other things that health providers try to communicate to the public. So that's kind of why I'm going in that direction. So we did check Moodle. We talked about the final. You know your dates are for the outline Monday the 15th, and the video is Monday the 20th. All right, so there we go with that. So mass communication is a few different things. Mass communication is any message that's designed for a large group of people to get at the same time, or, you know, it's a message for more than just a few people. So mass communication involves things like mediated communication, which is what we're doing over the internet using a computer and digital devices. So mediated communication involves a device like a telephone or walkie-talkies or the internet is what it, although mediated communication could also be using a pencil, like that's the mediated device that you're using. But really what it refers to is electronic communication that we do either through the telephone or over the internet. So here's some stuff I have about mediated communication as part of mass communication. Mediated needs a device, even a pencil and a paper. So that's the mediated portion of the communication, is that you're writing your message on a piece of paper, right? Often used to refer to communication via computers, and it's called computer-mediated communication is what that field of study was called to begin with, and now within the discipline it's just being referred to as mediated communication. So sometimes, and I'm trying to get our department to change this, survey of media communication or mass communication is sometimes mixed up and called survey of mediated communication, but that only implies, if you say that you're talking about computer communication, like communicating through email and text messages and instant messages and social media and putting up websites and those kinds of things. That's mediated communication, and it probably should be taught in the CIS department, but sometimes they get mixed up because media communication implies something completely else. Media communication is what we'll talk about in a minute. Just because it's mediated doesn't mean that it's mass communication, though. I can send over the computer an instant message to somebody, and it's not meant for everybody. It's probably private, right? A telephone call that I make to somebody is intended for them, not them and everybody else. So, mediated communication is not necessarily mass communication. But mass communication can include mediated devices, so it can be. Types of mass communication would be, now we're talking about not mediated anymore, just mass messages, mass communication. So that could be oral or live public speaking performances, that kind of thing. An MC at a concert, the concert itself, are all forms of mass communication. And so it's live and it's face-to-face. But it's for more than just one person. If you go to a concert with your favorite artist, more than just you is there, unless your dad is really rich and that's what you got for your graduation present. Oh yeah, Blink-182 playing at my graduation party. You guys even listen to Blink-182 anymore? Okay, so print is another form of mass communication, and by that we mean books and magazines, right? But we also mean other things like newspapers and billboards and mailers, like advertising cards that go out in the mail. That's all mass communication, and it's in print form on paper. So newspapers, not news outlets like what's on the computer. Also, sound recording. So music that you listen to is a form of mass communication. Film that you go to the movies or watch on YouTube or Netflix or whatever, mass communication. Radio is mass communication. So is television. And then when we go back to mediated devices, now this is where computers can become mass communication, because if you're on a website and you see a banner ad, well, the banner ad is mass communication, right? So computers and the internet have mass communication in the forms of social media like Facebook. If you put something out on Facebook, you've published it, it's public. Everybody can see it unless you take it down. And even then, I think that there are ways that people can still search stuff out. So websites are also considered mass communication. Blog sites are mass communication. Forums that they have online in other areas besides our class are considered mass communication. More than just one person is trying to engage a community or a group of people in something. And then anything that's interactive or meant for more than just a few people. So gaming is also a form of mass media. Video gaming, public relations, and advertising are also forms of mass media. All right, so we have a few minutes here. I want to get over to the PowerPoint and talk about a few things there. So mass communication in and of itself is a message that's designed for more than just a few people. It's meant to go out to a group of people or more, a large group, small group. Anyway, mass communication occurs between mass media and their audience. So, yes, okay, book, I agree with you, but it also can occur between a public speaker and their audience. So you don't need a media company to be there. You don't need Viacom or Universal Studios or Columbia Records. You just, to mediate this, it doesn't have to be on a radio. It doesn't have to be on a video. You can stand in front of a crowd of people and be delivering a mass communication message. So mass media, though, include television, radio, and music, internet, video games, newspapers, I think I just said that, magazines, and all that other stuff that we just talked about. I want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Books, cell phones, and movies, as well as the industries that support these platforms, and like advertising and public relations. So advertising supports a lot of these platforms, and so does public relations, and that's why they're considered part of mass communication. Why study mass communication? Why, indeed. We live in a media-saturated culture, and this is why taking media literacy is important, too, as a consumer. So it's important that we understand the persuasiveness and the impact of media if we're going to navigate our world effectively, if we're not going to get fooled or hoodwinked. When you talk about fake news and things in social media that are put out just to sort of divide people or cause a problem, and things that aren't factual or true or are so biased and slanted that all they really do is cause arguments with people. It's important for us to be aware of things in media literacy, specifically, like if you read an article online, say it's something that's posted in a social media platform, check what the source of the article is, right? Check where it came from, because that's going to tell you a lot about why they put that message out there. Always ask questions like, why do they want me to know this? Why are they telling me this? What's in it for them that I know this? Sometimes what's in it for them is to convince you to buy their thing. Sometimes what's in it for them is that they want to cause discord and problems in our culture and within our society right now. And so it's really important right now, especially, and in these times when the messages that we're getting could be life-saving, right? How many people in this country thought that this was a hoax, that the virus really wasn't that important? Well, my son almost died from it. I'm telling you what, it's important. Many people are dying from it, and so that misinformation that was doled out by certain news outlets, they caused problems within fighting this disaster that we're in right now. They help to set us back in terms of containment and restricting the virus. And when you see those kinds of memes and things that reinforce that misinformation, there again, it's important to be aware of the source of any message that you get and to ask yourself, why do they want me to know this? What's the point? What are they trying to get out of it? In America, people spend more time engaged in media than anything else. And this is true. You're doing this right now, and especially at this time when we don't have a lot else to occupy ourselves. We're not playing sports with people. We're not going to the movies. We're not going out to dinner. We're not hanging out with friends. Media seems to be the thing that's saving us. And thank God for the internet. Thank God for this digital technology that we're able to FaceTime with each other, or complete coursework together, or upload videos to YouTube, things like that. We would not be able to accomplish what we're accomplishing right now if this was happening in 1985, when I was, close to your age. Excuse me. Say it was 1980 and this was happening. And, we didn't even really have cell phones to help spread information and keep us connected with each other. The isolation would be a lot more profound right now. So we are living in an interesting time, but understanding the effects that bad information can cause and the importance of good information and the use of media to do that. It's an important thing to be doing right now. It's also, when all of this is said and done, and we're going back to our normal ways of being, still in all, how much time do you spend with media? Are you listening to music? Are you listening to the radio? Are you having the television on in the background? Are you connected constantly to Facebook and stuff? Is your phone always blowing up on you? How much time do you spend engaged in media? It's significant. I just got an update on my usage of my smartphone. Every week I get one of those usage notifications, like how much, and it went down 5%, which is because I'm so busy doing all of this stuff. I really don't have time to be on my phone a lot. But anyway, something to consider. All right, I'm going to stop it here for now. We'll pick up the lecture from here on Wednesday. Does anybody have any questions before I go? Okay, well, everybody stay safe, and if you do have anything you think of, email me and let me know. Otherwise, get to work on watching those videos, doing the form assignment, and starting to read those chapters. So we're on chapter 10 right now. We're going through it this week. Really what you need to read for your final is chapter 13 and 14, chapters 13 and 14. If you have problems accessing the book for some reason, I've got the PowerPoints right up on Moodle that you could look through. If you have any questions about how to get your outline started, let me know. But in the meantime, the directions are there. It's due a week from this Wednesday. And those are the things you need to be thinking about right now. So if you're all good, I'm good too. And miss you all and hope you're staying safe and finding happy in your day.